What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mindset Mogul podcast. We are your hosts, Josh Jacobs and Bradley Mora, and we are back with another episode today. Man, I have a lot to be grateful for today. Super grateful for an amazingly epic day yesterday that we'll talk about a little bit in the beginning here, just because I really want to share. What are you grateful for today, Brad?
Dude, I think waking up to a glass of cold water this morning, I was extremely grateful. I'm still feeling a little off kilter from the weekend. I was at a bachelor party. This is definitely, this week is a test about getting back on the horse after falling off the horse a bit. And so feeding off your good energy too. I got to say I'm grateful for that because now being back on this pod, like I'm going to go hit the gym so hard tonight.
I love it. Yeah, I was just saying before we jumped on, like we're totally each other's counterpart a lot of the times, and it's cool, man. I love it though. It's a great dynamic, and I totally feel your pain on the bachelor party hangover or whatever you want to call it. But Hey, I hope you had a great time. How'd you golf?
I'm terrible.
Dude, I have a golf outing in the summer, and I haven't golfed since I was 15 years old, and I hit one of the workers, and I have never gone back since.
You hit somebody with a ball?
Yeah, I hit one of the guys digging a hole. I yelled 4, and he didn't move, and it nailed him, and I never went back again.
Dude, that's hard to do, to be honest. That's wild.
It was, yeah, honestly, I was thinking it was actually kind of talented. But the only other time I've golfed since then was I went to Top Golf one time for an affiliate event in Vegas. And man, what an embarrassment that was. I was slightly intoxicated, and I was trying to swing a golf club for the first time in 15 years in front of a bunch of clients. That was not fun. But
yeah. Not set up for success there, unfortunately.
No, but it was cool. So, all right, let's jump into it a little bit. We're going to do an accountability pod today, but so first, I just want to say the reason I'm so grateful. Yesterday was just such an incredible experience for me. One of my friends who lives in California and has a awesome podcast, shout out Omar. It's named The Passionate Few, and go check it out if you haven't. He came to Chicago and interviewed me for the pod, and he also interviewed the legendary Tim Grover, who, if you're unfamiliar with, you should definitely look into and read his books, Relentless in Winning. Super incredible performance coach, coached MJ, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, just the list goes on. And invited me to come and watch the interview live. So I got to watch the interview live. I got to meet Tim. I got to get interviewed myself. And it was just one of those experiences that I will never forget for the rest of my life. It felt like I was in the right place. Like we were talking about this before, like, how do you get in the right rooms or whatever? And I quite literally felt like I was in the right room. And it was really, really cool experience. I just wanted to share that because I feel like I have been working for years on just personal development and, all the things that we talk about on this pod, and like literally the whole reason we started this pod. And to be able to meet Tim, who embodies all of these things that we talk about, possibly more than any other person I've ever met, except for maybe a couple, or, at least equal on that level. It was just insane. And it was a powerful experience that I've carried through today, and I am just hyper as a maniac, motivated like a motherfucker, ready to go. So if I'm talking a lot, fast, quick, a lot of different ideas from different angles today, that is why. So let's get started with accountability. Brad, I know you were at a bachelor party, you were traveling. I'm sure it's been a rough freaking week for you. So lay it on me, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, there was definitely ups and downs. I was fairly consistent through the week while traveling, but once the bachelor party hit, I definitely got a little excited. Drank more than I have probably in 6 months or a year. I honestly don't even know. And I have to tell you, my body has acclimated to a new level of health that I think I'm feeling more impacted the couple days after than I would have been in the past because I'm not conditioned for this anymore. So I think this is a good lesson in moderation, and also now is the time to not continue to let this be a thing and bounce back. And so workout is on the docket for this evening. Been hydrating a lot, working to get the sleep caught up so that all the boxes can be checked to be back at the optimal version of myself. And so I think, I'll have to think about what it means for the future in terms of handling events like this. But my goal right now is to limit the damage.
Yeah, I love it. I love how you said you're going to be in the gym tonight. That'll certainly help you feel better. I know it. I think that it's interesting because when you don't drink for, like you said, you didn't drink for a long time or whatever, and then you drank and you feel the hangover worse than ever before. I think it's just because it's literally poison.
Yeah.
Like you're literally poisoning your body. And when you poison your body every day, you're kind of used to the feeling of poisoning your body. But when you're free of that poison for so long, and then all of a sudden you introduce that poison back into the body, it shocks the system. And
I feel
it
shocked.
Takes longer to recover for that. You said you feel shocked?
I feel absolutely shocked.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's definitely a tolerance build up. But yeah, I think after having, especially eating clean, fewer and fewer toxins, I think, had been in my body than ever before. And then to go flip that switch, because then also with the drinking, the eating definitely suffered a little bit. So there's an accumulation of those things that this is a good juxtaposition after having a really good stretch that candidly, I don't ever want to feel like this again. And it is, it sheds light on the difference between when you feed your body what it needs and when you don't, i.e., water, sleep, correct food, and then a lack or a extreme moderation as it pertains to alcohol. Because I can tell you that my mood is off, my energy is low. Like you just operate at a different vibration. And then when you want to go accomplish the things that you want to do, there's a barrier now that I have to overcome that where there was once no friction, there is definitely friction right now. This will all be gone in a couple of days, but it's just it's a lesson on these things they got to be few and far between to a certain extent. Otherwise, you're not setting yourself up for success.
So it's interesting you say that because one of the clips that I just posted, maybe it was yesterday or something from an old pod that we did, not old, but whatever, previous pod. It was basically saying, you're not going to be motivated all the time or ever, but you will be slightly more motivated if you treat yourself right. So like when you wake up in the morning, if you drank a bunch the night before and you only slept 3 hours, you're not going to feel that motivated. You're going to feel like a piece of shit and you're not going to want to do it. But if you got 8 hours of sleep and you ate healthy and you stopped eating at 7 p.m. or whatever, then you're going to wake up and you're going to feel at least in a bit better mood to actually go get it done, which is exactly what you just explained. But first, I just want to say also thank you for being willing to do the pod right now, even feeling like this. Thank you for talking about it and being open about it. A lot of people who have pods like ours do not talk openly about this stuff. I like to think that we are going to talk openly about everything. So I certainly have shared similar things in the past months. So I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah, but look at you now. You're on fire. I mean, from the pre-call to now, you're like absolutely, you're glowing. So
I feel on fire right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm also just hot. I'm burning up. It's hot as hell in here right now.
Candidly, seeing you like this is legitimate inspiration for me to be like, I got to get back to that. Like immediately. I mean, I had this fire like last week sometime. So it's not like we're far off here, but I'm looking at you. I'm like, all right, we got to get back to it. And so I'm closing the amount, whatever time I was going to sulk and feel bad for myself about my current situation. There's just no time for that. Cause I can't be bringing your mojo down right now.
Oh, you're not bringing me down, baby. I'm just working on bringing you.
It'd be impossible, actually.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't even know what's going on right now, but, so, all right, cool. Well, speaking of that, man, I just feel super dialed right now. Like there's been probably 2 other times in my life where I've been as dialed as I am right now. And it's not like I've been dialed for that long. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but it's all it takes is 2 weeks to like feel massive momentum. And, again, the other day we were talking about like the more disciplined I am, the more I believe in the law of attraction, because the more shit just happens in my life that I don't even expect or ask for. Prime example is yesterday. Like, I didn't expect for any of that to happen. And all of a sudden, like in the last week, this whole thing
know Tim was going to
transpired.
be there until like a couple days before.
I didn't even know. I didn't know Omar was.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I found out Omar was coming to town, 8 or 9 days ago?
Yep.
Booked the interview 6 or 7 days ago. Found out Tim was coming 4 days ago, like 3 or 4 days ago. I mean, it's just, it all happens so quickly. And
100%.
Listen, I believe that a lot more shit is going to keep happening. So,
Let's go.
But yeah, long story short, I've been super dialed. The cold showers, I'm getting used to now. The diet and intermittent fasting, I'm like gamifying it. Every time I have a hunger craving and my stomach makes that noise or like bubbles, I'm like, yes, give it to me, motherfucker. I'm gonna beat you. This craving's gonna pass, and I play with it and I love it. So loving
sick,
that.
dude.
And what else, man? The workouts have been good. Everything's been good, honestly. I feel high on life right now. If you can't tell, I'm all over the place. And yeah, man.
I mean, if you can't walk away from this pod realizing that getting dialed is the best way to live, then I don't know what more of a compelling case somebody could make. Take 2 weeks, spend some time working on yourself.
Yeah, dude, like, 2 weeks.
It's literally all it took, because I remember 2 weeks ago, because we do this pod, which is why this is such a great exercise for us, that you were like, it was actually even like the first couple days in, we were even talking, we're like, hey, like we were out together, should we get drinks? And we're like, no. Like, we started the thing, when we start something, we go and we do it. And you're like, we both agreed on that. And instead we went home and, instead of going to Tao or whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
that is exactly
what we had talked about. And then look where you are at this moment 2 weeks later. And so if that's not, it's like, it can be that easy. You just have to rip the Band-Aid off for a couple of days, and then you just start picking up momentum, and then a week in you feel good. And then 2 weeks in, you're lightning. So that I already feel better, to be honest, because I'm like, okay, I'm at most, I'm 2 weeks away from where Josh is right now. I just gotta go for 2 weeks, and we'll be I want to have whatever you're having. So
dude, 3 days and you'll be fine. 3 days and you'll feel amazing. You already know. But that's another thing, actually, I wanted to bring up. I totally forgot. One of the reasons that I do like drinking is, I'm assuming a lot of people have this reason, but when I go to social events, whether it's a business event or a friendship event or something where I'm around a bunch of people, specifically when I'm around a bunch of people that I don't know. Like, for example, went to my wife's work event, and there was, 30 people there, 40 people there or something. And I had only ever met maybe one of them, maybe two of them. So I was having, I knew it would be totally fine. Like, I'm a personable guy. I can talk to people all the time, but I do typically have a couple drinks in me. And I know that as soon as I have a drink in me, I will go talk to anybody. Like, I'll go talk to anybody anyway, even if I'm sober. But if I have a drink in me, I will 100% go talk to anybody. So I went, this was like a great test for me, because obviously I'm not drinking. I'm on 75 hard phase 1. So went to this event, didn't have a single drink. Every single other person almost was drinking. And it became kind of like a conversation starter of like, oh, you're having a Diet Coke. Like, do you not drink? And I'm like, no, I drink occasionally. I'm just not drinking right now because I'm doing this program. And it almost became a conversation starter, and people like loved it, And I just think, and so that's one thing. Second thing is, I left, woke up the next morning and felt amazing. Like, I felt good leaving and, knowing that I would like talk to a bunch of people and didn't have to have a drink. But when I woke up the next morning, that's when I really felt amazing, because I woke up and I didn't feel like shit. I knew that I didn't say anything to anybody that I didn't want to say. I knew that I was extremely appropriate. Like, I just had a complete knowing of how the night before went, versus if I had a few drinks, even if I didn't black out, because I'm not a guy that like drinks till he blacks out. But even if you have a few drinks, it's still a little cloudy, right? Like it's still not the same as being 100% sober and knowing every single word that came out of your mouth. So that was a huge win for me. And I feel really good about it. And to be totally honest with you, it's kind of made me rethink the idea of drinking in general. Like if I could go have so much fun like that in an environment where I knew absolutely nobody with no alcohol and I felt amazing after it, why in the world would I poison myself with it? I know I'm going to have a drink and I'm going to, I'm going back on my words right now, but like it really made me think the entire following day, why in the world do I even drink? And I kind of keep seeing signs for it too. Like I keep getting a bunch of videos on Instagram about not drinking. And, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see.
I think about it like the gamifying thing that you said with fighting the hunger pangs before, where at least early on, I've thought about it like this. I'm like, can I gamify this for myself where I can go be in any situation sober where I used to have drinking and turn that into a game itself? Like, shouldn't that be a hurdle that I can overcome, that I can create the same feeling inside myself and then also the same level of social ability? Like, I should be able to believe that I am as likable drinking or not drinking and then turn that into like a game for myself. Like go into a situation and almost be like, what would I be like if I was drinking? And can I one up that in the sober version of myself? In the same way that you had a new tool talking about how you're not drinking in those conversations, I've been thinking about ways, and this is me just totally spitballing here, but how to apply that methodology that you're talking about where you really make it a game where you're winning against yourself. Because then no matter what you're doing, it's like, it's kind of an interesting exercise. Like even if you were going to be bored at this thing, now it's like you've got a game to play with yourself about being this better version of yourself. And so I think just putting two ideas that you had together,
that's interesting.
I'm impressed to hear that you went to that and it was like you came away with such a positive experience.
Yeah, man. Felt good. Thank you. And I like that idea of gamifying it because it definitely works for like my hunger cravings. So I'm assuming it would be similar for anything where it's you versus you, right? And if you could gamify you versus you and get into it.
Wow.
Man.
Then what can't you do in that scenario?
Yeah. That just gave me a really good idea.
Yeah, we'll
talk about it off pod.
Yeah, we'll unpack that post pod. Yeah.
All right, guys. Do you have anything else, bro? I think this was cool, man.
For sure. And thanks for bringing the energy today.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, if you got value out of today's episode, we would really, really appreciate it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us a comment, give it a like. If you have your own question that you want us to get answered on the pod, you can email that into support@mindsetmogul.com, or you can leave it as a comment on YouTube. If you are listening on Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever, please give us a follow and rate us 5 stars. We would really, really appreciate it. With that being said, appreciate you for making it this far. Thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Take care.
Take care.